Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Hibiscus Motorsports. I'm very sorry for this crappy lighting situation I have right now. We just have a flashlight right there. It's only like 5 p.m.-ish right now, but as you guys know, we're moving closer to winter, so daylight's going by in a heartbeat, so here we are. But thank you so much for clicking on this video. In today's video, we're going to be finally fixing the Jeep's fuel overheating issue once and for all. I know that sounds weird, fuel overheating. I explain it in the video, just very basic. The fuel can overheat in the fuel rail because the way this engine is designed. I go over all of it in the video. But yeah, so we're going to be finally fixing that, so this car will have a much smoother idle. But yeah, so thank you so much for clicking on this video, and let's get right into it. Alrighty, so you might be asking yourself, why do we need a, fuel rail and injector heat shield kit? So, on any of the older Jeep vehicles with the 4.0 inline 6, so the Cherokees, the Wranglers, the Grand Cherokees, things like that, the engine is not designed that well, which is funny because it's super reliable, but it's really not designed well when it comes to thermal efficiency. That's because the intake manifold and the exhaust manifold are on the same side of the engine, so the air comes in from the top like this, and then the combustion happens, and then it exits down right next to it. It's really not a good design because obviously the exhaust is extremely hot, and that begins to heat soak the intake manifold, and then that heat begins to heat soak the fuel rail and the injectors. And so what happens is the fuel begins to vaporize prematurely inside of the fuel rail, and it does what's called vapor locking. It's happened to me once in this thing before where I let it idle in like 90-degree weather for 10 minutes, and basically what happens is it creates a very loud banging noise, like it's like a doo 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 kind of noise. And if you hit the gas pedal, you aren't moving. You'll move maybe like, I don't know, a foot, not even. You just gotta turn the car off, let it cool down, then it'll drive perfectly normal after like 10 minutes. But so that's the whole point of this kit, is to try to prevent that from happening. As I want to be able to leave this car on if I need it running for whatever reason. I don't want to have to worry about if it's running for more than 5 minutes, potentially, overheating the fuel rail. So yeah, that's the whole point of the kit. So inside this specific kit, you'll get the, opened it obviously, you'll get the instructions on how to install everything. You'll get the fuel rail heat shield, so it just unfolds, and it's just has Velcro on each side, has the holes for each individual injector, and it just wraps around the actual fuel rail. You'll get the manifold heat shield right here. You'll get 6 individual little heat shields for each injector. Obviously can't forget, awesome accessory they include is 2 stickers and 12 new injector O-rings if you decide to use them. But yeah guys, let's get right into the install. Alrighty, now first things first, I'm going to be disconnecting the throttle body cables to be able to get this whole bracket out of the way, because fuel rail is right here and the injectors hide right behind it. Obviously this gets in the way of the install. So I'm going to try to record this video a little bit different. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys prefer. I'm going to try to record this video me showing a lot more of what I'm doing, because I've noticed in my certain part install videos and all that, I don't really show how exactly I'm doing everything. I just more kind of jump cut towards when the installs or the whatever I'm doing is done. So there we go. Just let me know what method you guys prefer. But once these are disconnected, now we're going to remove this bracket, which is a couple bolts here, and yeah, it's just those 2. So let's do that right now. Next thing I'm going to do is just disconnect my PCV little return hose right there. Now we're going to be moving this actual plastic wiring harness out of the way. Mine is definitely a little broken, just because it's supposed to slide over the valve cover bolts. Mine, 2 of them, actually pretty much all 3 are snapped, so looks like I'll be replacing this soon. but we're just going to try to get it up and out of the way without damaging any of the actual wires, as obviously as time goes on, all the, you know, coverings for the wires and all that start to get a little crusty, a little broken. So yep, we're just going to try to be nice and gentle with it. There we go. So obviously my fuel rail, all the injectors, the plugs and all that are very old and kind of brittle. So I will definitely be looking at getting, you know, a full new fuel system for this car. For now though, we're just gonna, this is the manifold heat shield. We're just gonna kind of get it in position, get it lined up. So again, I apologize, this is not gonna be installed the proper way for the instructions. I just don't have the, you know, the new injectors, the plugs, the new, you know, harness, all that right now. So, but definitely after looking at this stuff close, I'm going to be replacing it. So we'll do a video on that when I, you know, when I replace it. But so all I'm doing right now is putting the manifold heat shield where it's supposed to go, but I am just kind of wiggling it into place instead of removing everything and putting it in. So it's going to be a little harder to do it like this, but it is doable. You just got to be a little more patient with it and just try not to break anything. But yeah. So I will be right back right when this gets fully installed. Alrighty, so now as you can see, the shield is fully in there. Effectively what I did was I just kind of put it in at straight down and then just kind of rocked it in. It can only go in one way because there is a little raised part in the intake manifold. It's a little hard to show, but there's a hole in the actual heat shield for that. So now with that installed and ready to go, now we're going to move on to the individual injector heat shields, and then we'll do the fuel rail heat shield and put everything back together. So let's keep going. So how these little injector heat shields go is, this is the outside, this is the inside, and they just wrap around like that around each individual injector. So again, I am doing this the improper way, so it's definitely going to fight me a little bit more to do it, but I will be able to easily do it on each one, as it's really not that difficult. It would be definitely easier if you did this by removing everything, but again, as I said before, I don't have the new stuff for, in all honesty, everything that would inevitably end up breaking. But yeah, so we're just going to do what we just did here to all 5 of them. All the rest of 5 of them, sorry. So now all 6 injectors have their heat shields wrapped around them. Next is now going to be the fuel rails in heat shield right here. So the reason why I'm saying, you know, besides not removing everything, this is going to be a modified install, is that obviously these holes right here, you need to remove everything to be able to put them on. So I'm just going to take a pair of scissors and just cut to each one. Again, I apologize, this is going to be a bit of a you know, different video. I try to do things right, you know, and all that. I'm not a big fan of modifying things like this, but it's going to work perfectly fine if I do this, and I don't want to risk breaking anything in here. As I've said tons of times in my videos, this is my daily driver, so I don't want to risk breaking something for my fuel system when I don't have replacement parts for it. So again, I'm very sorry, you know, that this is most likely going to end up compromising the quality of the video a little bit. But yeah, so I will show how I'm going to cut them and all that. So I'm just going to take, you know, a basic pair of scissors and just cut each of the actual injectors spots. I'm going to see if I can not cut the company's, well, I'm going to have to cut it a little bit, their little, you know, branding on there, because I do want that to be easily seen, because this is a very high quality kit. I just, you know, I feel bad for having to ruin it like this, but it'll work either way. So I'm just gonna, each one just cut straight through. And now those should be able to fit right over the injectors. I apologize for the massive jump cut. Obviously, as you can tell, Is it the prettiest thing in the world? No, because of all the incisions I had to make. I will say if you get this kit, you know, if you're doing this, you know, for your own Jeep, whatever, there are definitely spots that you need to cut regardless. I mean, like the fuel, I believe this is a fuel pressure regulator right here. There's no hole for it that I could see, and the wrap would not fit all the way around it. You know, it would be way too open. But yeah, I mean, it's a relatively simple install. You can do, like I said, you can do it the way that I did it. It's not the most ideal way to do it, I will say. But I mean, everything's covered, everything's in place securely. So, I mean, yeah, it's definitely going to help. As, I mean, again, like I said, I was going to show before. As you can see, here's part of my exhaust manifold. Then here's the immediate thing to the intake manifold. And then here's an injector. So there's maybe about an inch, not even, of space in between the exhaust manifold and the injectors. Now, on these engines in particular, it's cylinders 3 and 4 are the two that will really vapor lock and create the misfire and all that. It's you know, 1 and 2, and then 5 and 6 don't really do it all that much. So mainly 3 and 4 are the big troublesome ones. So, you know, if you're doing this to your own Jeep, you have issues with vapor locking, or as you're driving, you know, if it's a hot day or you've been driving for a long time and you come to a stop sign, a red light, and your idle's really rough and it feels almost like your engine is like making like a banging noise and it's vibrating. It could be that it's starting to vapor lock. So this kit really is not that expensive. I think I paid $60-70 bucks for it. But yeah, definitely worth it. Now the final steps in the actual engine bay is reinstalling the 2 bolts for the throttle body bracket, or throttle body cables, sorry, throttle cables. Installing the 2 bolts for the bracket and then just reconnecting them to the actual throttle body. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna take this for a quick cruise right after I'm done putting everything back together, and right after the cruise, you know, I'll probably make a video or a short post, you know, down the line of driving with this in the car, just to see if I do, you know, if it's actually gonna work. I've seen videos before. People have said that it's definitely worth it, and you know, it helps a lot. But yeah, I mean, that's just about it. And just enjoy the little bit of footage right here. These bolts don't really need to be crazy tight. You don't want to snap them because they go into your intake manifold. As long as they're, you know, holding it down nice and securely. Alrighty. Just going to reconnect the actual throttle clips. And with that, so everything moves. Just going to put this bracket back in place. And yeah, there we go. Alrighty, we are back in this terrible lighting once again, but that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like the video and leave a comment down below. And if you really enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe. It's completely free, but it's the best way to support my channel, and it would mean a ton to me. And again, like I said in my previous video, that number has just been going up. Now we're at 29 subscribers. So thank you so much, guys. That really means a ton to me. It really shows me that people really like watching this. You know, I'm just some random guy who just decided, hey, why not do YouTube? So, you know, again, it means so much to me. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, so let me know down in the comments, 'cause I'm just curious, which videos do you guys like more? Do you like the Miata videos? Do you like the Jeep videos? We've been recently doing a lot of Miata videos, but it's also because about probably like 4 months ago, I was doing a lot of Jeep videos. So I was fixing a lot of stuff in this car. So yeah, let me know which ones you like better. I think it would be good to get a good mix of them. But again, just let me know down below. But thank you so much, guys, for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.